Right, guys. Yeah, we got a problem here. I've lost out on everything and I've had to come back in on here. So, guys, I don't know how many of you are going to realize this is a situation, but basically, my system has gone down and I've had to start completely afresh. It's ended my stream, so I've had to restart the stream. Yeah, so right. That's two of you have come over. Excellent, guys. Hopefully, if you can message other people and let them know, because I'm sort of stuck here. What's happened? Yeah, I'm back, Mac. Back. yeah. Basically, my old computer is dying to death, and it dropped out, so I lost pretty much everything. Hi, Ian. Yeah, that was a nightmare. God, that made me sweat. I'll let some of the other guys come back on up, and we will continue on. Yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare, unfortunately. It's yeah, technology, eh? Right, this took off. Excuse me, guys. I'm just gonna. Yeah, don't panic, Mr. Manring. Don't panic. Yeah. You can hear it buzzing in the background, Mac. Hi, Rick. Sorry about that, guys. Just an old computer, old technology. Yeah, it's going to get renewed very, very shortly. I've got somebody looking into that for me. Got a very good friend who's going to actually build me a purpose-built computer for doing exactly this. So that shall improve it. And again, here we go. Technology, eh? It's a wonderful thing till it lets you down. Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? I can hear Kaz chatting downstairs. I'll take it Jason's popped round. Yeah, so we got difficulties there. We had a bit of a technical fault, as they used to say on the BBC, and I do apologise most profusely. It is my end as well. It's not you guys. Basically, my computer and YouTube stopped talking to one another, which was a bit of a pain in the butt. Steam power, yeah. Don't tell them everything, Mac. Well, no, I've been out there shoveling the coal. And again, as I got on my list here, things I was going to say tonight for those guys that weren't initiated so much. Yeah, things to do in a crisis. First things, do not panic. Stop. Think, then act. So what did I do? I stopped. I panicked. I swore a lot. Then I acted. And the only thing I could do when I actually looked at it was pretty much end the stream that we were on and restart a new stream, which is a pain in the butt. An absolute pain in the butt. But there we go. I do apologise. Yeah, so what to do in an emergency? Well, stop, panic, think, act. Go to your preps. Yeah. Switch it off and start again. Yeah, it's all you can do. All you can do. Life throws you an oddball every now and again. Stop, reassess it, go back to the beginning. It's the way it goes, the reality of it. Personally, I think it was them. Yeah, I think that was you know, them. I think what they were doing was yeah, they're monitoring us. That was them clicking in. That was their system. Throw it out. Oh, look, yeah, throw it out the window. I no longer wish to speak to you. Yeah. Yeah, that was them listening in. Yeah. Hey? Yeah, Kaz. Do excuse me, guys. I'm going to give Kaz some instruction quick. Kaz. Kaz, can you put on there, tell everybody to come off of that stream, and I've had to start a new stream. I'm on there waiting for them. Oh, yeah, so that's it. Just giving Kaz a holler. Latest Nokia lying in the street. It's going to be a bad day, yeah. So just giving Kaz a holler because she's still on the old stream watching it buffering. And what she's done, she's going to stick up there on the chat. Come out, guys. Have a look. Come back in. We're all on a new chat. Yeah. Great days, isn't it? I remember you saying to me that just that morning, Mac, when you said to me, look at this new Nokia. This is the latest Nokia. Look at what it does. It's brilliant. Look, all this gear. About 3 hours later, when we were driving up the motorway, I no longer wish to talk to you. And out the window it went. It's like, blimey. Spectacular. If you're going to make a statement, make a statement. Oh, all right, Kaz is going to put that up there, so hopefully the other guys can then find us again, and we'll carry on with this. In fact, yeah, we're going to have to sit down and get me and Mac together. We might do a bit of hide building and basher building one day. I'll do a video on that. Hi, sweetie. Yeah. Sorry about that, lovey. That's my old computer. It decided that it was no longer talking to YouTube, and so it cut the stream out. Phones in random people's strings. All right, sweetie. That's all I can do. I'll stick a video up tomorrow, apologising to people. Hopefully, what they'll do, they'll get bored of it, shut down where it's buffering, and then realise on the channel, and then come back in. Technology. What can you do? It's nothing like stirring somebody's drink with a thing. What I'm going to do. Bear with me. My phone. I'm going to stop my phone up, and I'm going to send a couple of messages out to guys so that they realise. Yeah, that's all we can do. I might even next week. I might actually say to people, if it goes or it freezes again, come out and then look for the next stream. How do you think? Do a hide, do a proper OP. Pretty much show people how to set up an OP. And yeah, anti-poaching one. Okie doke. That's it. Me and you are going to get together up the woods. I am enjoying my cider lovely. That Stoford Press is delicious. 2, 4, 9, 6, 9. I'll stop my phone up and then I'm just going to send a quick text out to certain people and let them know who we are. Anti-poaching hides. That was good fun. Yes. Well, might be a job on for us soon again, Mac. And I got somebody who might want us to set up a hide to catch out some fly tippers for them. It won't be an actual dealing with the people. It will be a setting up an OP and recording all the information. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to, please excuse me. That's that. On my phone, quick. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Yeah, there was that's because I've mentioned it. Somebody else got back to me. Hello, Phil. Basically, Phil, that stream went down. If you come out and come back in, you'll see that I've had to start a new stream. All right, dude. No worries. Not a problem. All right, buddy. Catch you later. Bye. Yeah. So yeah, I mentioned it last week. There's a couple of lads. They are ex-SF. Hey up, lad. Yeah, so they're doing that up north, and there's nobody at the moment doing it down here. And because I've mentioned it, somebody else has come back to me and said, "Oh, that's interesting. Could you?" So I know a couple of people. I might know a couple of geezers. We could get something sorted that way. And again, this is something where the entire prepping community, complete survival community, all the bush crafters, all the wild campers and that. It's a way to get in with your local authorities and get permission. Happy Easter, mate. Happy Easter to you, Roots Lion. Hope all is good with you. I'm going to have a bit of my old Jamaica. Yay! Phil's here as well. Excellent. Nice to see you, Phil. And Tracy. Old Jamaica. I still have that chocolate. Yeah, up and running. So hopefully the other guys will find us. Yeah. So I know you did. That's a scary one for the world. Mitch and backing up together again. Yeah. I was waiting. When it kicked off in Ukraine, I was waiting for the phone call. Yeah. Yeah. So right, I'll get on to that then. I'll be up with you later on in the week, Mac. I'll get you. We'll get over here. We'll sit down. We'll have a look into it. Do a bit of planning there. Because again, it's skill set, isn't it? Skill set. Dark chocolate rum and raisin. I know you. Caroline doesn't like dark chocolate. I adore it. Good for the blood pressure, sweetie. Especially it's washed down with a bit of cider. So, OPs. So, we're having a bit of a natter about that. So, setting up an OP. Well, first of all, you've got to think about distance. So, it's distance to target. Okay. If you've got the ability to see the target from a mile away, perfect. Set your equipment up. your concealment's not going to be quite as efficient from a mile away. If you're going to be set up a couple of meters away, then obviously your cam and concealment's got to be perfect. And then that means using the environment, the countryside, lay of the land, conditions. You also got to look at how your target is going to approach and leave. So you set yourself up so that they're coming in and out perfectly in that situation, or in an anti-poaching or in a vehicle ident, is so that you can catch all the information you want. So it's cam and concealment. There's a conversation going on here that I'm unsure about. Licking toads or feet. You can keep both of those. Don't mind sucking the odd big toe, but there's the licking a foot. Hey, Matt. We're going to get on to foul things now. So we get on to fishing bait and using maggots as fishing bait on cold winter's day, putting them in your mouth to warm them up. Yeah. Some protein, I suppose. My channel starts off bushcraft survival prepping, and it gets into deviancy, the licking and sucking of feet. Oh, I don't mind a bit of deviancy now and again, as long as it's clean. Right, okie doke. So let's talk. The bag over my left shoulder, this one or this one. Chuck up white or green bag, and I will go through it with you, Sam. Not a problem. Down that one. Okay, that one there. That is a up to date issue Medics bag. That is my go-to bag when I'm out and about these days. Yeah, fire kit, Millbank bag. Can't go wrong with Millbank bag. That one, that's a Medics bag. The reason I like this, and I use it for a lot of my stuff now, and actually hanging up like that's quite handy. Do excuse any rubbish that falls out, but you've got your what I call my go-to pocket there, which is nicely sectioned up, can be velcroed up, and it's just a nice big pocket. That's repeated down here, so go-to kit in there, and then inside, yeah, excuse the rubbish and all the spillage. So the back's a hard board, okay, because it's obviously designed to carry all the Medics equipment, and you've got all your molly straps all the way down the inside, so everything can clip in and velcro in. You've got two large pockets on the inside front, but what I like about it is the way this whole front zips off. So I drop my pack, and then literally open it right out. I can see everything, get to it. With it in the closed position, you want to get to your wet gear in a hurry. You've got a large pocket here, zips open, it's waterproof, and you can go in from the top. So that is the field medics bag or combat medics bag, and then you've got a load carry system underneath. You can get your sleep mat and that and that. I would say to you somewhere between a small Black Bergen and a Northern Ireland Patrol pack size wise. Very comfortable. And I just like the ease of access because I do a lot of teaching. Yeah, would make a cracking cart bag. It's the nice thing with it. Instead of having to go right through the top for everything, once I've decided this is the location I'm in, I can dump it down, zip the whole thing open. I've got 2 pockets with all my small gear in it on the inside, and then everything else is laid out. So that I go straight in and go, there's my poncho, there's my sleep system, there's whatever. Not a huge bag like with the Northern Ireland Patrol Pack. You're not going to get a winter sleeping bag in there plus everything else. Okay, so yeah, you're going to have to adapt. You're going to put stuff on top. You're going to hang stuff underneath. But it does the job, and that just stuck on the front was a cheap and cheerful pouch, which at the moment's got rubbish in it, but normally contains a headlight because I like to keep a headlight clear to hand. Right, so I've got to say hi to Trina Killick because she came out for a meal with us, or with me and my wife, the other day, and yeah, lovely person. Came out, we had a lovely meal out together with her and her family, and yeah, fantastic time. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we had Kyle there, Kyle Killick, absolutely smart young gentleman there. They've both been through a bit of a rough time. In fact, the whole family have been through a rough time just lately. So I will ask you guys to say a prayer for them tonight. But they're young people, but very grown up with it, and I thoroughly enjoyed my evening out with them. So there you go, guys. That was just a little bit on the side. That was a bit of a hi to them. In fact, that's a hi to the whole Killick family. My heart, my blessings go with you guys. Stay strong, and know we all think of you. Yeah. Matt, it was a quiet back, if you know what I mean. It was acquired. Not seeing many on the market at the moment because they are fairly new issue. You remember how? I can't say this from a legal point of view. You remember how one day me and you ended up driving around in a Land Rover that was fully kitted out with everything? Yeah, it came the same sort of way and ended up a bit of a gizzit. But I will do some research and see if I can find you one. In fact, when you come over, give it a try, see what you think. I also have. I go get it. And if you can't get one of those, same sort of size, nice DPM Patrol Pack. Okay, and again, it's another go-to bag for me because the pocket systems are nice and large. It's not finicky. There's not lots of little bits and pieces, and I can load it out for a day trip or even a weekender and that, and I carry enough kit with it. Yeah, no GPMGs this time, Matt. Yeah, GPMGs, M4s. Yeah. Snugpack poncho liners, yeah, pain in the arse. I'm lucky I've got 2 the old service ones for the long back, which I've had a lot of people say to me, I'll have one of them off you. No, no, they're kept back. There's me and a certain other person on here, we do things together occasionally, and I do keep a certain amount of kit back for that sort of thing, just in case me and Mac need to whiz over to Ukraine and sort that shit out over there. You know, sooner or later they're going to break that glass. What's my favourite bag to use? At the moment, that one. I go between that one as a favourite and the long back Bergen. Purely simply, long back gives me the ability to carry all the weight I need and all the gear I need. I can pretty much clear off with that on my back with the rocket pouches on it and do months. There's enough kit in there for me to pretty much turn up on an island and live there comfortably for the rest of my days. Other than that, bag wise, I know this guy. That's why I've said to Matt, come over and try that before he goes looking for one, because it's quite a rigid bag and it's not everybody's cup of tea. Okay. Do I have guns at home? If so, what ones? No, we won't go into that. We don't discuss that one. Yeah, we don't go into that. It's that's a subject for another day, and I will explain that to you why if you pop round one day during the week. Yeah. I am a shooter. I am a licensed shooter. I do have access to firearms and shotguns, and they're all well and truly secured. Not necessarily at this location, but they're secured legally and correctly. I've done much in the way of instructing over the years with firearms. Yeah, but Mac, wasn't it the old term that you may start off with a Parabergen, but as soon as you come across somebody else with a Gucci one, it's gone. I thought a Parabergen was the best bit of kit that you could whip away. Yeah, you come over this week. What we do, we'll go through it, see what you think. I think personally, you're going to actually like that one because it's got a little bit more. It's a little bit more flexible and a little bit more capability. And if you need one, it's there for you, bud. I'll sort you out, not a problem at all. Yeah. Yes. Cheers for that, Kaz. Young people getting excited, and I can understand why, but hey, that's another conversation for another day. So it's what else could we do? What else could we do tonight? Right. So me and Mac are going to do the West Highland Way later in the year. It's going to be a series of videos we're gonna do, and we're not just going to do the West Highland Way. We're going to visit some of the areas around there. The idea of this video, there are a lot of people walking the West Highland Way, and it is just a video of a guy trudging for miles. We're going to go the opposite way. You will get the shots of the views. You'll get nattering, chatting. You'll get a couple of old boys having a laugh and a giggle together. We will be honest. You know, if there's parts that are murder, we will tell you they're murder. We won't hold our words back. But we want to show you the views. We want to show you the place itself rather than just, hey, look, I'm walking 90 odd miles. Look at me. We will be overnighting in the wilds. Yeah, a lot of history up there. Huge amount of history. Oh, yeah, I'll bring it up a bit. So I've had a couple of feedbacks on that knife, Ray. But I'm just going to finish off about the West Highland Way, Mac. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And hopefully we'll be releasing that in a series of videos. So it'll be like 3 or 4 videos. Not necessarily released one after the other. I might release one week, then a normal video next week, and then another one the following week. And I will get back to the disaster scenario video when I get a chance. So that knife, yes, that knife. Where did I put it? There, right in front of me. Okay, so yeah, this knife was given to me. And it's a very interesting blade. It's a very, very fine edge, and I think it was originally right. So let's do my research. So Fagan were a very old, renowned British knife maker based in Sheffield, who made knives for the wealthy hunters. They also made knives for officers, and they made swords. Okay, so when I initially saw Fagan on this, I was very excited. And when you break this down, because it looks like a sheath knife, but in actual fact, it breaks down like that and has, get them out, the old leather pouches, a little bit dry. I've been soaking it with oil, neat's foot, but it's still a bit dry. And it has tools with it. So again, you could take, it gives you, show you on the camera, that's a nice little awl there. You've then got a double-sided file, a screwdriver, and a bottle opener. And believe it or not, that file, I was testing that, and that was working on some really high quality steel. That is a very high quality blade file on that. And again, you've got a corkscrew. And originally there was one of the old-fashioned style tin openers, and it was, yeah, it was given to me, and I, like I say, I got very excited about it. And it came in a very poor state. The blade itself had been very mistreated, and somebody had tried to clean it up with a Dremel, and unfortunately they chewed it up. So I've had to take a thou off the blade all the way down to get it back to its original condition. Bone handle, aluminium, and it's stamped on it DRGM 1227103. So did my research. The blade is stamped Fagan foreign made. So when I did the research, it turns out anything stamped, and this is worth keeping an eye on for yourselves, anything stamped DRGM and a serial number was either Austrian or German made between 1895 and 1940. It was a patent license to allow German companies to replicate goods from other countries. Okay. It was basically they weren't allowing goods into Germany and Austria from the outside, or they were limiting them, and German companies would turn around and then apply for a license to make said goods under license. Yeah, so it's a Fagan knife made to Fagan quality, made by German or Austrian manufacturer. So if you're interested in your antiques or you're on your travels and you come across any item stamped DRGM, that's what that means. So that will give you an age between 1895 and 1940. Other than that, we know nothing about it. Now, I've contacted several collectors, all of which have got a little bit excited and said, oh, that's a bit of a rarity, because apparently there are a couple of these about that are genuine Fagans, and they retail anywhere from sort of £350 to £500 depending on their quality or their condition. But nobody seems to have one of these foreign made Fagans. They're quite popular. When I originally researched it, I thought, looking at the period and the time, the Scout movement was being pushed quite big in Germany in the 30s. I believe it predates that because there's no insignia stamped on it for anything like that. So it might not have been scouting. It might have even been just something that was sold in a very good quality hunting shop for hunters, campers, gentlemen to disappear into the woods. Because again, you'd have to be a gentleman. Got a corkscrew. You need a corkscrew to open your bottle of port. Okay. The steel quality is fantastic. I've not finished the edge on the knife because I don't want to use it. It's an antique. I want to keep it in nice condition and look after it. But if I had to use it, I mean, for game preparation, that would be fantastic. And got the original leather sheath, which again is also stamped DRGM and has a matching number. It's an interesting bit of kit, but again, it'd be nice if I could find who the actual German or Austrian maker was and find out genuinely was that what it was used for. Again, it's just one of those interesting bits, isn't it? You get given things at times and you think to yourself, that's pretty. I mean, when I first got given it, And it was a relative who gave it to me. It was something he had been given as a piece of junk. It came like that. And initially, as you would, I thought, oh, that's going to be a nice sheath knife. And I pulled it out, and then I saw that, and I thought, hello, that's a bit weird. And then I saw that, and I thought, that's a bit bloody weird too. And just and it literally, it wants to come away once you compress that button. This is so well engineered, and there is very little play in it at all. So again, things were well made once upon a time. Yeah, definitely, Mac. Definitely some sort of German hunting knife. It's got that shape to the blade and having the groove in it as well. It's. I'm pretty sure it's a gentleman's hunting knife made in Germany as a copy of the Fagan for big game. I mean that sort of knife that you use for large game rather than rabbits. Yeah, how's your training going for that, Sam? It's a nice piece, yeah. I've been waffling away there. So, yeah, and again, it's one of those things. It's, you know, it could be used as a bushcraft knife. It could be used as a prepping knife. If the world went to crap and I had to do a runner from here, you know what? I'd definitely go in my kit. It's good quality. Don't know what you use it for, but go in my kit. Of course, I'm recommending that one to everybody at the moment. If you're looking for a UK legal knife to take out, and it is UK legal, doesn't lock, it fits within the legal limits. It is a secure lock. It's got a nice finger groove in it, so it's not going to close on your hands. Holds a very good edge. We're quite happy with that. That's a Boker. It's a Boker UK legal penknife. That's what it's actually marketed as from Heine Heinz. So I can recommend that one if you're looking for something for that sort of thing. And then, of course, I've got my sailor's penknife, which is in actual fact downstairs, which is a nice little penknife for carrying around. And again, you don't necessarily have to have one of these bigger knives if you're going to do your bushcraft. Realistically, if you're caught in an emergency situation, you are not going to be walking around with a 12-inch RAF survival knife or a bushcraft knife. You're probably going to have a pocket knife, and you want something that you can handle. And when I say by handling, it's something I come across when I'm running courses quite a bit. A lot of people buy themselves a nice knife, don't use it regularly. And one of the arts to being able to use a knife well for bushcraft, for emergency situations, is muscle memory. Okay, so if you've got a knife, and I know it annoys people, spend the time opening it, closing it, says he, throwing it at his foot. Spend the time opening it, closing it, and getting used to the feel of it. So that if you have to use it in an emergency, and I mean you're running up to a car to cut the seatbelt to pull the guy out because the car's on fire, the last thing you want to be doing is fiddling around. You want to be able to go in, make positive action, do what you've got to do, take it out, put it away, do it. More accidents are caused by people fumbling with stuff that they're not confident in using because they don't practice with it. So start simple, be careful, practice, and muscle memory. Build the muscle memory up. It makes it a lot safer for you to use that item, and it also makes it a lot more accurate. I nearly sliced my finger off doing the veggie video or the wild food video, purely and simply because I yet haven't quite got the feel for this little knife. Okay, and I haven't quite got the feel for it yet, and so I was a little bit inaccurate. And because I know chopping techniques, I just nicked my fingernail with it, and because my fingernail was there, the side of the blade glanced off of it, saves the tip of your finger. And yeah, it was edited out because it was one of those moments where you stop and you go, it was close. Because again, we've all cut our fingers at some time. Same thing with tying knots, same thing with handling your bag, same thing with putting your basher up. It's all muscle memory. The more you do it, the more confident you become. You get to the point where you can do it almost with your eyes shut. So build that muscle memory in everything you do. Yeah, it's, what else is there? What else? Firelighting, muscle memory. Yeah, whether you're doing friction, whether you're doing bow, whether you're doing flint and steel, you know, you get the feel for things, and you're like, yeah, I know that's in the right place, ting, and it all works. So what else have we got? Oh, yeah. You guys, so I'm going to move the camera around, and the reason I'm going to move the camera around because this was the position I originally wanted to put it. So apologise for that there. I did want to put it there because that I'm a bit more comfortable with. So, yeah. So you got Murph the Smurf there. He's obviously, he's that side. He's prepping. He's ready for any eventuality. So he lives in a gas mask. What else have we got there? Yeah, cook sets. Right. Before anybody asks and panics, okay, all this here are dummy rounds. They're all training rounds. They're souvenirs from my previous job. Legitimately got hold of, and they're used for checking. Well, I got them for checking headspaces on equipment I had. So yeah, they're all training. There's 303, 7.62, 5.56, and 9mm up there. They're all inert. They can't go bang. So if there's anybody out there from officialdom that wants to look at that and start panicking, yeah, more than welcome to come around and have a look at them. They can't do anything. Just to demonstrate, there's a 9mm inert there. It cannot do anything at all. It can't be loaded, it can't be fired, it can't be used. But again, use it for checking chamber headspace, and it's just a souvenir from my life. Let's have a look here. It's all got a bit quiet. Sam, where you gone? Seem to have lost you. You still out there, Sam? I've lost Sam. Yeah, he's gone very quiet. Still there. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I was starting to worry for a second there. I was like, oh, has everybody gone? So I've changed the camera around. That's, in fact, you can tell me now, how's the sound? One of the things I was concerned about was where I need to get a mic, because I wanted to put the camera a bit further away. Again, so that if I'm showing things, unlike last week, I'm not sort of all my face right up in the camera. That's if you guys let me know, does that sound okay? It's fine. Brilliant. I'm happy with that then. So this is going to be my new comfy position, which also means that I can have a little look out the window, see what the weather's doing, see what the moon state is when I need to. And I can reach my ashtray, see everything there in front of me. Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, so what's everybody else got planned for? That's I would like to say now. Any of you guys that haven't yet, pop over and have a look at Sam's channel. There's Sam's Bushcraft. I'll get it right. Sam's Bushcraft Outdoors and Camping. He's done a very good video this week on the Dutch Army tent, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Can I rate sleeping bags? Because I'm going to one, which I consider the best part from size of the weight. Yeah, can do, Matt. And I can tell you quite simple. It's the Google Maps that you are so far from me, you're over 200 miles. Yeah, 200 miles is nothing. 50 mile an hour, it's only 4 hours. So sleeping bags. I've tried all the Civi sleeping bags and I hate them all. Okay, yes, they can be compressed. They can be made small. I last year I tried 2 different snug packs. The only problem for me and sleeping bags is I really hate to be compressed. Yeah, just I need the I have a easy way to explain this. I have an issue where I was once caught up inside a culvert and I got stuck in the culvert and it really freaked me out. And I cannot abide being restricted. Um, Basically brings back a lot of bad memories. So I go with the British Army sleep bag, or what I do have, and they are getting hard to find, but they are out there if you look around, is the old German Army sleeping bag with the arms. Now, the downside with all military sleeping bags is they're humongous. Okay. Um, doesn't bother me too much because I'll either stick it on top of the Bergen inside a dry sack or I'll hang it underneath. Um, yeah, I will go with that. That's the system I'd go with. If you are looking for a light, efficient snug packer, excellent. They do some good sleeping bags that do pack down really small, and they do them at sensible prices. There are other companies out there. I can't remember half of them offhand, but I will bring up the list for you when you come over. But the snug packs, yeah, you probably get on all right with that. Yeah, yeah. The German ones, mate. I love mine. And mine's it's getting a bit long in the tooth now, but I absolutely adore it purely and simply because I go to sleep where I put my arms where I want. You know, I need to get up and have a wee. It's not an issue. I can just do what I need if I want to roll a cigarette. Want to get up and shine a torch. Not an issue. Want to get something to eat. If you want, I'll keep an eye open, or I'll get Cats to keep an eye open for one for you. The other nice thing with the old German Army sleeping bag is you didn't need a bivy bag with it because the actual bag itself is waterproof. So it's pretty much you've got your bivy bag and your sleeping bag all in one. Yeah, excellent for night fishing. Yeah, sat in your chair like that. And I keep mine's. Or what I tend to do with my military sleeping bags is now, as soon as I get home with them, and any of you that have got a sleeping bag, especially military ones, when you get home, unroll it and hang it. Right. What happens if you leave them rolled up for long periods of time? The lofting material compresses, and eventually it loses its ability to sort of loft out and expand. And if you leave them hung, then yeah, it doesn't happen. You just roll it up when you need to take it out. If you leave it rolled up for a week or so, it doesn't really matter. But it's when you're leaving them rolled up for 6 months, 7 months, you got to unroll it, and then you've lost a bit of its thermal ability. And it's one of the things that tends to happen with the British Army sleeping bag because they're stored rolled. And what happens when the fold was good. Excellent, Ray. I was going to ask, how did you get on with the fold? No problems with the berth. It all went well. All worked good. Excellent. Yeah, Arctic sleeping bags. Yeah, again, same thing there. So British Army sleeping bags are stored rolled. When you get it, my advice to you, if you want to make the most of it, just get it, unroll it, and just literally put a coat hanger inside the top of it, hang it up, all right, and leave it for as long as you can, and that lofting material will eventually expand. If you've got one that's really compressed, and this is going to sound crazy, either get a leaf blower, slap a leaf blower inside it, and give it a little blast, just for a minute or two. That pushes the air out through the material. It spreads the lofting material within the sleeping bag, and it helps to reaffirm the loft. And again, when you store it hung up rather than rolled up and compressed, and you'll find that bag will be a lot warmer. It's a lot better for them. Yeah. All good, excellent. Yeah. So Ray had to leave us early last week because he had a foal or a mare in foal, and it's all good news. Excellent, excellent. So come the apocalypse, Ray's already sorted out with his transport. He's obviously a rider. I'm watching 10 blows away. I'm never going to live down losing my tent on Bombing Moor. Am I watching my tent blow away into the distance? Yeah, so survival and we're getting back to my disaster video. The apocalypse. The apocalypse. Transportation. Okay, so you got Shanks's pony or your feet. Okay, so you can do that. It's great. Moves you quietly cross country. You can move stealthily, and you know, if you go sensible and you're reasonably fit, or if you build your fitness as you're moving, you'll be okay. Just limit yourself to sensibility. Don't try and walk 30 miles if you can only walk 5. If you can only walk 5, do 5. That's it. Then you come to vehicles. And people always say to me, oh, your vehicles have had it in the apocalypse. Okie doke. So EMP. Okay. Now I'm looking around for old diesels. I'm looking around for old tractors. Anything that is diesel, it's a concussion ignition fuel, doesn't require any spark or electricity on older diesels because there was no solenoids for the fuel. It was all done on a mechanical pump. Slow, noisy, fairly fuel efficient. You know, if it come to it, and I know Mac has had his time on these as I have, the old Thwaites dumpers with a crank start. Yeah, that could be your survival apocalypse vehicle. You load that old dumper up in the front with everything that you can salvage, scrounge, and tape, and away you go into the boonies. So again, after EMP, not everything is useless. Old diesel generators. I know somebody that's got an old crank diesel generator. They swear by it. They've probably had that 30, 40 years, and it's never let them down. Then you can the alien invasion. I tell you what, come the alien invasion, you've got 2 choices, right? Yeah, you've got 3 choices. Fight like hell, submit and surrender and become one of their minions, or just give up. Because I tell you what, any species that's able to travel all the way across the universe, get here, right, is probably a lot better equipped than we are. So, yeah. Or you can go with the old theory, what was the War of the Worlds? Just go around sneezing on them all. It's time for the silver four hat. Yeah, well, we already had that with the glitch on the stream tonight. That glitch, I think that might have been somebody. Yeah, yeah. I think we've got a few around here, I think. You've already been infiltrated by the lizard people. Lizard people, that's all right. All you got to do is live somewhere cold. Live stuffed. Alien invasion, eh? Yeah, I got my tinfoil out ready. So we had zombies in Asda last week. They got the alien invasion now. So now, on transport. So I've always thought, because I used to ride a lot as a youngster, and I haven't ridden a horse in probably, I'm 57 now. Last time I rode a horse, I think I was in my mid-20s. So yeah, and I am fully aware of the pain that I would initially suffer. But yeah, and I grew up around horses, so horse management, horse care, it's not going to be much of an issue. The other thing to think about in all these scenarios that you're always seeing, farms and livestock. Okay, there's plenty out there. Everybody keeps coming back to this. There's going to be nothing. There would be nothing. There would be nothing. Well, in actual fact, there would be, but it would be struggling. Because if the farmers can't get out to feed, or they've evacuated, you know, the livestock's going to be suffering. If it's just strapped in the same old field, and if it's not got a water source, or the water source isn't maintained, it's screwed. So if it was that bad a situation, I think as I travelled, I would probably end up herding a couple of sheep along with me. But I know one of the things I'd do is I would release everything I came across. I would turn it loose. If I mean, obviously, if I can see somebody is maintaining a farm, they're looking after the livestock's in good order, I'd leave it be. But if it wasn't, then turn it loose. Let it go wild. Give it its chance. It'll either make it or it won't. As you guys up on the Dales know, there's sheep that live up there all year round. And sheep, good God. Sheep, if there's one animal that from the moment it's born wants to die, it's a sheep. Right? Any excuse, a sheep will give up and die. So, and then you've got fowl, you've got chickens, and all the rest of them. We've already domesticated all these species. Would you take a dog with you? Would you find a dog? Yeah. You got to feed the dog. You got to care for the dog. Becomes two of you. You've got to feed. And if it's the right dog, it's going to feed itself. It can be security, companionship. It can even be something to keep you warm. Yeah. So it's options on options on options. And again, it's fantasizing. It's using your imagination to create a worst case scenario in your mind, then to run through what would I do, and then God forbid it ever happens, you've got a leading footstep. You're away. You're already on that line of thought. If it never happens, it was just fun to play out and think about. Okay, it's fantasy. But then there are people get caught up in situations all around the world that to us would seem like fantasy. We just had a severe flood warning and high wind warning for our region down here. And again, that comes down to, I've thought about this scenario years and years ago, and I looked at where I lived. I measured, I took an ordnance survey map and I looked at my place above sea level and then local water courses around me and their level above sea level, did a basic calculation, worked out what the floodplain area was. So I actually know that if we had a major flood here, I know which roads will get me out, even though it's flooded, and get my family out and get my wife out if I need to. And believe it or not, the ones that won't flood around here are the ones that aren't the main roads. There's two local main roads here are going to be submerged. One of them was only built 15 years ago, and that literally is, there's your river and there's a Blackwater Valley Relief Road, and that would become the main link pretty much for this area. It's actually a 2-meter rise in water there, and that's done. So it's little bits of knowledge, it's little bits of information. Play the scenarios out. Would you, if your area flooded, and if it flooded here, it's going to be what we call a slow flood. So it's going to be a torrential rain build up, probably down. It would probably flood here down to, looking at my research and looking at the history, was a local bridge ended up blocked with debris, and that flooded the area here. And it didn't come quite up as far as where I live, but it did flood a lot of the local roads. So yeah, so you look at the flooding, and you work out where and how you would deal with that. Slow floods aren't too bad. They build up gradually, and it's rainfall, and then they spread out over an area. They can be quite rapid in their spread, but usually you know about it because it's a floodplain, and that's just simple preparation. Okay, you organise yourself and prep yourself for that. If you're in a solid, strong structure, move upstairs. never wade or try to move through water. It's in a flood situation, it's contaminated with all your local sewage. It's yeah, you're going to lose things like manholes and that quite quickly. They tend to push up and displace, and you don't want to drop into something like that in a flood. Yeah, it's not a good place to be. It's got a bit quiet, isn't it? Yep, snow. It's another one. Getting trapped by snow. So Sam already has to prepare for the worst case scenario every winter. Yeah, a little bit of prep in there. And I bet you still get people, neighbours and that go, "Oh, I don't believe it. I've run out of this and I've run out of that." Every year they do the same thing. Mac's family, they're up in Scotland. He grew up in Scotland. So again, same thing for them. Come the winter, and his family were quite rural. So come the winter, it was preparation. You always had stuff put behind the cupboard. You always had a backup. You know, you always knew how to survive the situation. And again, it's like, if it gets really, really bad, do you hunker down where you are? Well, if you're equipped for it, you can do. If you can't, well, you're not equipped for it. You're in for a rotten time. My biggest fear here, where I live, is pretty much flooding and structural damage through wind. Any advice on boots? Okay, Rick, golden tipped boots. Buy the best you can afford. Okay. I recently trialed the high-tech Magnums, and I would never wear them again. They fell apart. Yeah, waterproof. Yeah, waterproof your boots. Basically, the best quality boots that you can afford, but more importantly than that, try them out. Now, if any shop you go to buy boots that says no, we don't allow people to try them on, walk away. Don't. If you, me, and a lot of other guys go with British Army boots. In the old days, before they got improved, we always used to go with the German Army boots because they used to be the best. But nowadays, we tend to go with the British Army boots. And let's see if I've got them up here. No, they're downstairs. It's dirty. Hakes, Mendel, Lower, Altberg. Altberg's brilliant. Made in the UK as well. And if you go online or you go to an army surplus store, you can normally pick up a pair of grade A's, sub 50, 60 quid, you know, and they will last you. Try them on, walk them around. But again, everybody's feet are different and everybody's legs are different. Everybody's design is different. Some people like high boots, some people like low boots. So again, it's find what's comfortable and what suits you. But my go-to is military boots. Again, because the military, in the old days when I first had my first experience of military boots, they were rubbish. But as I moved on and as times moved on, they certainly realised they needed to invest. So yeah, they got top brands involved. Well designed, very sturdy boots. The downside is with some of the military boots, they're a fraction heavier than what you'll find in the civilian market. But again, as Nick from Hidden Valley Bushcraft's always saying, and it's a good saying, travel light, sleep cold at night. Okay. So I'd always rather have a little, not talking about going excessive weight, but always rather have that little bit extra weight and just know that I'm going to be comfortable. And your feet are your priorities. You can't do nothing without your feet. Merrill, yeah, good boots. And there's lots of very good civilian boots out there. Yeah, but I can't speak from experience because I haven't used many of them. And it's finding, yeah, I wouldn't like to say to you, definitely go for these because you might not find them comfortable for your feet and your legs. I used to be in a motorcycle club, and I'm pretty much within 6 months, I think I had pretty much every male member there wearing British Army boots in the winter, and they would wear the winter boots. They were strong, sturdy, comfortable. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had a pair of high-tech Magnums. I had the patrol boots. I don't know what their other boots are like, but my patrol boots fell apart, and I really wasn't impressed. I was quite miffed actually. There was a pair of boots that were over 80 quid. It was, yeah. Well, they were, don't get me wrong, when I first got them, when I first wore them, I thought, these are nice and light and they're super comfortable and they're flexible. I could walk all day in these, and as you see in one of my videos, they fell apart. They gave me a lot of grief within about 3 months. So I stick to what I know. But again, everybody's different. Top tip I can give you is get yourself a pair of Crocs, and if you're doing any distance, a pair of Crocs for when you're setting up camp. Excellent. There you go, Jim. There you go. Jim's giving you some good advice there. I've never tried them, so I can't comment. But it was yeah. Have a look at those GSG9. Yeah, interesting bunch of guys. So I take it then in that case they are based on a military style, but that will be an assault boot. Excuse me, just in my bottle, an assault boot. Which will be flexible, probably designed for urban work, which you can't go wrong with. Hey, what did I do with my bottle opener? What did I do with my bottle opener? Oh well. There we go. The old German antique knife. Just open my cider. But again, it's that. Yeah, find what suits you, mate. I see a lot of stuff on YouTube. The guys are going, "This is the best bit of kit in the world," and they'll show you something. It's patrol boots. See, any of the military patrol boots, and military-based patrol boots, you're not going to go far wrong with. They're good quality. I'd say the high-tech Magnum patrol boot. Yeah, I wouldn't waste my money on them again. They did fall apart on me, and they weren't particularly well made. Trying to think what else is there boot wise. Yeah, Merrell's, Altberg, Hakes. That tends to be military base for me. Take the weight and the sturdiness. You've got Berghaus, obviously. You've got their brands, and you've got all the walking, hiking boots. I mean, good company. I don't know if you've got one in your area to go and try, and they're usually pretty good and fairly fair price. Just go outdoors. They're pretty good. And then obviously you've got Millets and that as well. They've usually got a fairly good selection of boots and shoes. But find what is comfortable for you. Wear them in. Yeah, people say, "Oh no, these new boots, you don't need to wear them in." All right, heard that before. So I've been told that this new rifle is brilliant. You'd never have to clean this. It's got chrome barrel. You don't have to clean that. And again, because I've had a bad experience with it, don't take it. They're not going to work for you. You know, it's. I might just had a bad pair. Waterproof your boots, air them out. Yeah, fishing boots. Yeah, do you know what? And it's like the fishing section in Go Outdoors and the fishing section in Decathlon are my two go-tos. So I get a lot of my gear. My trousers I buy. Right, so my favourite trousers for the summer are Craghoppers. I like a pair of zip-off crag hoppers because they're adaptable, they dry quickly, they're light, they're comfortable, and they're UV resistant. They give you a bit of protection. And then I go through the hunting fishing sections in Decathlon and Go Outdoors, and I buy my heavier trousers for my summer wear or my winter wear. When I'm doing training and I'm up the woods, I'm doing a lot of kneeling and things like that. And they're not expensive. Okay, I say not expensive. All right, 14, 15 quid for a pair of trousers. But they do the job. They're tough, they're turdy, stuff. Get the words out. Too many ciders, lads, too many ciders. They're tough and they're sturdy. The stitching lasts. They're comfortable, and I get on with them. Like I say, summer wear, I like to wear crag hoppers because they're super light. They breathe nice. They're good outdoor trousers. I mean, they're meant for climbers. In the winter, if I'm going up somewhere that's really wet and severe, then it will be a pair of crag hoppers, and then I'll go with a merino base layer underneath. They'll keep the wind out, and the bonus of those, they will dry, and they will dry super fast. You literally hang it up in your tent. 2 hours later, they're dry as a bone. Same thing with the shirts. Crag hopper shirts, I can recommend them to anybody that's looking for a bushcrafty shirt. And they do some that are built-in insect repellent, and they're all UV rated. So again, that gives you a level of protection from the UV rays, which not all materials will. Super light, packed down to nothing, clean, dry, easy. You literally stick it in a stream, give it a rinse out, give it a shake, hang it up, give it 10, 15 minutes, and it will be dry enough to wear. So that's my go-to there. Waterproofing your boots, hundreds of different ways of doing it. I'm a fan of dubbing. I know a lot of people don't like it, but coat your boots with dubbing on a regular basis if they're leather. Feeds the leather, okay? Waterproofs the leather, keeps it supple, looks after it, stops it from getting any any fungi feeding on the leather, which tends to happen if your boots can look smart as hell on the outside, but inside, damp, humid area, you'll be surprised what grows in there. You've got lots of sprays and that you can use to waterproof your gear. But again, I still just like my dubbing. It does the job. In actual fact, I use dubbing on all my leather gear. Motorcycle jackets, my belts get treated with it once a year. It can be a bit messy, I know, but it does a good job. TF Gear waterproof boots. Yep. Can't go wrong with the old Total Fishing gear. Anybody else a bit disappointed with Funky Prepper's video yesterday? I was expecting to see this long log fire that he made and he spent the night with, and it turned out to be a two-part video. I was like, swine. I was looking forward to seeing him making a fire in his Welsh woods. There we go. Disappointment. Oh, Funky, you let me down. Might have to send him an email. Is there anybody out there? Let's all slow down a little bit, guys. Anybody else got any questions? Any ideas? Anything they want to pass by? Talking about waterproofs. Yeah. Dutch Army poncho. Recommend them to anybody. Get them while they're still there. Military Mart and that. They've got them at the moment. Yeah. If you don't have a basher, get yourself a Dutch Army poncho, nice old DPM one. Absolutely brilliant. You see the videos, I use it as water collection, use it as shelter. Go over your pack, everything else, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. It's all gone a bit quiet. You're not fishing the right way, mate. You got that, yeah, like that, and the fish will come to the top. Golf. Oh no, not golf. DPM or MTP? Right, I could go DPM for me. Okay, I do like DPM. It's what I'm used to. However, I live literally slap bang in the middle of all the training areas for Aldershot, and we went over to DPM whilst I was still doing my job, which meant we were all wearing DPM gear. And what I found with the DPM, I don't like the pattern so much. Okay, it's DPM black. Yeah, it works. But what I do like about the DPM gear is the pocket layout. They thought about how when they just redesigned the smocks and all the gear, they thought about how the pockets lay, and they looked at how the guys were operating, and yeah, they're better positions, better angles. You can get your hand into the pocket. You're not trying to get into something that's a tunic, really. Yeah, I mean, as somebody said to me, the last smock that was designed for the British Army with the people wearing it in mind, okay, rather than what some senior designer and officer decided was what they would wear, was the Denison smock, okay, and then the Paris smock. We should do what Basher set up, minimum kit. Yeah, I'm up for that, mate. Yeah. Minimum kit Basher setup. I'm up for that. Sounds like me and Mac are going to have to do an overnighter up the woods. All those of you are up for me and Mac doing an overnighter up the woods, give us a thumbs up, and it shall happen. Yeah. MTP, yeah, ain't a pretty pattern, but the way the kit's designed, the way the pockets are positioned, the layer systems are very, very good. I will recommend them to people. Stitching's good quality. Yeah, what else can I say about it? Yeah, it's good design. Good design, like I say. The last time they actually purposely made a spot with the guys that were wearing it and thought was pretty much for the Paris. When you say minimum kit, just bear in mind that you were on about pink and black DPM just a minute ago. You know, come on, mate, you're not a Marine. Yeah, all right, John. No, Mac, we're not getting naked up the woods. You've already seen what I got, and you laughed too long and loud. Yeah, that's what we do then. Nice simple Basher setup. Have an overnighter. Well, it won't be this week because it's going to be bloody wet and windy. And yeah, it sounds like I'm being a pussy, but yeah, Aldershot roundabout. Set up an OP outside the police station. So here you go. Is the moral question? Okay, then it is a moral question. You have to think hard about it. You've all got a mate. Every single one of you's got a mate, right? And or an acquaintance or somebody you know that in in a tactical at-risk situation, he would be the guy that you would say, you go set your basher up over there, set your OP up over there, and then all the rest of you move yourselves as far away as possible, knowing he's the one that's going to attract all the attention. We've all got that. I forget how many we had in the back of my lightweight going around Aldershot. Kaz will remember. She'll probably come up with it in a minute. But yeah, that was a mad night. Yeah, so we've all got that guy that you pretty much. I wouldn't say you'd sacrifice him, but you know, he's going to be your tactical decoy. So Max put that up back in. God, I can't even remember what it was. Somewhere in the late 90s or very early 2000s. Very early. I had a 1974 Series 3 lightweight that I acquired. I actually got it through Mac, funny enough, and put it on the road. And I think it was Germany, England, wasn't it, Mac? And we had a result. And we had everybody in our pub in the back of the lightweight and did a lap of Aldershot. And I was sort of dropping people out the back every time I pulled away. We had the canvas off, the roof off, screen flat, and there was literally the thing looked like a rolling hedgehog of people. Absolutely hilarious. In the days when Aldershot police just looked at it, shook their heads, and went, "Nah, we're not getting involved. It's too much like our work. Just pick up the pieces, send them home." Of course, you wouldn't get away with it now. Yeah. I wouldn't get away with it now. So let me catch up with you. I've got to get a better pair of glasses, I tell you. Mate, don't. Oh, that's it. It gets you. Yeah, I do love a good dog film. I've got a. Yeah, Colchester Police are having all that fun now. Yeah, and they're welcome to it. Airborne Forces Day in Aldershot. Cool. That used to be exciting. So, Dog Dad, how you doing, mate? Hopefully all's good with you. Hopefully you enjoyed your film. Saints and Sinners Shooting Club. Now, very few people in Aldershot will know about the Saints and Sinners Shooting Club, and I think that's best kept very quiet. Yes. I remember certain occurrences, Fives Bar and places like that. Yeah. The Saints and Sinners Shooting Club was a very elite, very small group of like-minded gentlemen. Life games beyond the bar. Yeah. Best said. Oh, so we've all had a good time, right? All had now, right? What we're going to get onto now? We will drag this out for a bit longer, because poor old Dog Dad's just joined us. Fast starting using human hair. We're going to do that as a survival technique. That's a good demo. That fire starting using human hair. It's quite an interesting one. It works very, very well. Especially if you use sambuca, tequila, vodka, and a rather large straw sombrero. It works. Yeah, as you can gather, some mad nights in a certain private pub in Aldershot. Yeah, there was some, shall we say, some interesting characters that you will never see or very rarely see in our time again. Men of experience, men of wisdom, true adventurers, and men that looked to band together for comradeship. They quite an interesting bunch of guys. It was very, very good fun. Yeah, I do miss it in a way. Yeah, God dear. Some adventures. And some lunatics. Yeah, there was a couple of lunatics. I don't know if we ever heard. I don't know, Mac. I don't know. I shouldn't really mention it on here, but I don't know if you ever heard anything from Big Mac again. After he took off, he went off, decided he'd had enough of the UK, packed his Bergen and took a flight. I've never heard from him since, unfortunately. I did see Mr. Buggy a while back, only in passing, just to say hi and that. And now and again, occasionally I bump into a couple of the others. Yeah. Fucking hell. Oh, you biker in Scotland. Well, that suits him. Yeah. That would suit him. Suit him down to the ground. He'd be happy with that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll raise my glass to him. Sam, take it easy, mate. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry it was a little bit dry this evening. I'm sorry about the mess up. But yeah, take it easy. Take it easy, mate. Ah, fucking hell. Dundee after Afghanistan podcast. Yeah. God. And of course, there's Ibo as well. Yeah. Fucking Ibo. Take it easy, mate. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a chat about that, Mac. When me and you get together, we'll talk about some of the lads and that. Yeah, some of the old boys. Yeah, so I've got a couple of books and that I'm going to pass on to people in the next few weeks. I've got a book for Dog Dad because he does like his dogs, and it's a story of a Japanese prisoner of war, a dog that actually got torpedoed, I believe, twice. Ended up in a Japanese prisoner of war camp and was actually given a service number in the Japanese prisoner of war camp, made it through the Second World War, out the other side as well, and home again. And I've got her story in a book here, which I'd like to pass on to you if you've not already come across it, and I can't remember the name of her at the minute. But that's an absolutely cracking read. Fantastic. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I do like my dogs. Judy, that's it. Thank you very much, Jim. What a read, eh? What a dog. Yeah. So, yeah, if Dog Dad has not read that one, I'll pass that on to him because he's only down the road from me. That was, yeah. Oh, dear me. And I'm a softie when it comes to dogs. Do love my dogs. Yeah, it's absolutely awesome, mate. She was a true heroine in her own way, and not just from the fact that the physical or the mental help she was to the guys that were going through hell, but she actually physically saved lives several times. I'm not going to say too much, don't ruin the book, but when you read the book, you're actually reading it going, this has got to be bloody fiction. Got to be fiction. And then you get through it and you see the photographs and then you start reading the story through and you get to the end of it and you're like, fucking hell, should be a bloody great monument to that dog. Yeah, that's a fantastic read. And again, of course, dogs, companions, friends, survival situation. Yeah, I'm grabbing a dog. Don't have one at the moment. Had a bit of a shocker yesterday because where I was out, basically we had to stop the convoy at one point and get out, and there was a lady on a horse, lovely lady, very polite, very friendly, but she got to a point, very narrow place, and she said, I can't move the horse any further. It's absolutely terrified. We had a bad experience 2 weeks ago with a 4x4. Can I ask you guys to switch off or move back? Yeah, fine, no problem. Been around horses all my life, so I know what they're like. Got out and moved everybody back, got everybody positioned out the way, asked them all to shut down and that. And she came through with a horse, and she made a point of thanking everybody. She was like, "Thank you so much. Thanks for your appreciation. Not a problem. Not a problem. We're not going to be arseholes about anything." And as she went out, she stopped and she turned around and what she called dogs? I think it was Spangle and Spanner or something. These 2 little border terriers, about a year old, come hurtling out of the bushes together, literally running like a pair. Well, I'm a border terrier man. I love my borders. And they come hurtling out, took one look at me, and I just tapped my legs, and that was it. They were both up in my arms like that, and it was licky face time and everything. Absolutely brilliant. I've got to admit, I can walk back to my mate's vehicle, got in, and he knows about my dogs. He'd met them over the years, and he looked at me and went, "You all right?" And I just wiped one away and went, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy." And on with the rest of the day. But yeah, funny, hits you there. It really does. Yeah, companionship you get from a dog. They're fantastic things. And again, doesn't have to be a big drop. I'm a terrier man. Okay, I love border terriers, and I spent most of my life working with Jack Russells. Loved them. Grew up with them on the farm. Love their temperament, their character. People always tell me, "Oh, they're yappy little things." Well, most of the ones I've had are actually just super intelligent. They tend to be more yappy when they're bored or they're worried. And I actually took one on a security job. Turned up, they said, "We want a dog." And yeah, no problem. And I turned up with the dog, and Jack Russell with a bit of string, named Bandit. The bloke looked at me and he went, "The fuck is that?" I said, "It's a dog. It's a guard dog." He said, "What's he going to do? What is he going to do?" And I said, "He doesn't need to. That's why you got me here." I said, "All the dog's got to do is tell me where they are, and believe you me, he'll tell me where they are. I'll deal with the rest of it." Yeah, oh, fair enough, mate. Not a problem. Yeah, exactly. Dogs. You don't feel lonely with your dogs. Yeah. Good therapy. Absolutely good therapy. And that brings me back to something I'm always saying to people: mental health. Okay. Mental health. Bushcraft survival, prepping, just getting out into the trees, just getting out for a walk on the heath, just getting out into the countryside. That's so good for your mental health. And if you're lucky enough to have a dog, again, it's that level of companionship and friendship. It is another level. Um, yeah, they help you through most things. But again, yeah, I miss mine, but I'm not in a position to have another dog for a while. So I need a little bit of a break. I need to get over the loss. Losing 2 dogs within pretty much a month of one another. That was such a hard blow, and I knew it was coming with the old fella. I was expecting that, or the older fella, and I was prepared for it. When we lost him, I accepted it. He'd had a cracking life. He'd been a bloody good mate. He'd been, my buddy for years. Great family dog. But when he went, it was like I knew it was his time, and I was happy with that. And his daughter, she's a couple of years younger, but she just couldn't equate to it. And we tried everything. She was eating okay. She would come up with us. I mean, they used to sleep downstairs, but she started coming up. She's quite happy, curled up on the bed with us. She constant companionship, played with her, tried to keep her entertained and that, but yeah, she missed her dad too much, and yeah, she followed him. Yeah, yeah, small dogs with huge hearts. Yeah, yeah, Staffy's great breed, great breed. Very misaligned dog over the years. People giving Staffy such a bad rep, but you look back to originally they were nicknamed the what did they call them? What did they call nursemaid dog? Because they were so good with children. Okay, super protective and super loving towards children. They were a breed that in Victorian times that's what they were kept for. People would keep them as nursemaid dogs. Absolutely brilliant. Nanny dog, yeah, yeah, brilliant. Very loving, very game on. It's just a few idiots really in the 90s and that ruined it. Oh dear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll take me a while to get on. It won't take me 20 years, mate. But yeah, I have moments like yesterday with those two little border terriers where I was like, I love this, but I need a break. Not ready yet. Give it a year or so. Um, see how I feel then. And again, good for the fitness as well. Yeah, yeah. It is always a shock. Yeah, I mean, Ty, like I say, he was an elderly dog, and I've had dogs all my life. So you get used to the understanding. You know, you're sitting there, and you look at them, and you go, "Ah, now he's getting old, and you can see it. And you just keep them comfortable, make sure they're not in any pains, not suffering, and they're eating okay. And Ty, bless him, he went fairly quickly. So it wasn't a surprise, but it was his time. But with Law, silly name for a dog, Law. He's called her La. Yeah, chocker. Anyhow, less of that. Less of that. I'll get morbid. I'm having a bit of chocolate. I'm having a bit of chocolate. A bit of rum and raisin, a bit of old Jamaica, a bit of pirate special. Arr. German Shepherds, again, super intelligent, super bright, very loving dog. Very well, I don't think there's such a thing as a bad dog, you know. I think it's true what they say. Um, it's it's down to how they're treated, how they're looked after, and how they're trained, and how they're educated, and whether the person that owns them actually understands the breed's needs. Um, I've met people in the past. You know, oh, I don't understand why my collie is so wired. So how far do you walk it? Oh, he gets a mile or so every evening. You're doing a mile or so. Yeah, walking around the estate on the lead. All right. Do you play with him or anything? Oh no, he's just a house dog. He's a collie. It's a fucking border collie. It's a working dog. He needs to burn that energy off. It's super wired, intelligent. You know. Yeah, but listen, Labradors, Retrievers, they're just hard work anyhow. Let's face it, they're gun dogs. Any other dog, here's a gun, will turn tail and run. Yeah, it's not bad dogs, it's bad owners. Yeah. Yeah, you see that. We see it around here. Always upsets me, or no, always concerns me. I won't say upsets me because I can't cast aspersions. I don't know the people. But there's a couple of times I've seen lads around here walking with Akitas on huge chains. And the Akita isn't a bad dog. It's strong, powerful, and it has a very, very strong prey drive. Uh, yeah, yeah. I'm a big softy with dogs. I've had a couple of times in my life where I've had people go, oh, you know, well, want to watch him? He's super aggressive. He'll have you. Honey, you drop down to your knees, talk gently, and just hold your hand out. Let the dog come and smell your hand. That dog will smell your hand and know immediately whether you're safe, secure, and good. Yeah, but again, you understand the dog, don't you? You know what the character's like. You work with it. My son Chris, he's got a pug, and I'd love to. He'd be a nice dog to show you. Actually, he does not look like the archetypal pug. He's long-legged. He's not fat. I mean, he's got the pug face. He's got the pug build, and he's a purebred pug. But he's quite a long-legged one, and he is super fit, fast, agile. Loves to play, loves to walk. And every time Chris takes him to the vet for his checkup, the vet says, he said, I wish I could get you here with all the other pug owners we got that all seem to think that they're just a lap dog. He said, if I could just show them how much fun he is, how happy he is, and how fit he is. He said, it's purely and simply because you exercise him. And it's that whole thing. You give him plenty of exercise and you've got a happy dog. Don't get me wrong, there are breeds, I suppose, that are bred to be lap dogs. I mean, you've got the easy ones like Chihuahuas. I mean, all you need is a catapult with a Chihuahua. You just fire it down the garden, it runs back. It's plenty of exercise. Yeah, found his trigger, haven't you? Yeah, Max Labrador. Yeah. Yes. Girlfriend's shoes. Yeah, that was an awkward date night. Bring a girl round to your house and she comes in her very best outfit and her very expensive shoes, and your Labrador decides to run off with them and bury them. And she was convinced that was you trying to get her to stay the night. Yeah, finding the key. And again, relates back to human beings as well. Because as I keep saying, people, human beings, we forget we're an animal as well. And if you're in a survival situation, it's looking for the keys. It's if you've got a group of people, find out what their skills, their abilities, and their mental strengths are. Set them to the tasks, get working together, work out who are the guys that are the supporters, who are the leaders, who are have the abilities and the confidences to do things. Pair a confident person with a less confident person, but you've got to have somebody who's going to, let's say, put a confident person with a less confident person. You need a confident person as a guide, not as a bully.